The following is a presentation of Tonganoxie Sports Live. It's time for the Chieftains on your new home for Tonganoxie High School Athletics. Tonganoxie Sports Live. Tonganoxie Sports Live is presented by Kansas Insurance, locally owned and operated. Learn more at kansasins.com. Also by It's time for the Chieftains, right here on Tonganoxie Sports Live.
Welcome out to BD Field here in Tonganoxie, Kansas for a beautiful day of girls varsity high school soccer. The temperature is about 70 degrees. I am Tristan Jordan, joined with my commentary partner Alex Smith. As always, he's also running camera. He's got a 4-camera setup for us tonight, so we're going to get all the angles on all the action between tonight's home team, the Chieftains, against the away Basehor-Linwood Bobcats. Alex, why don't you give us a little rundown of records?
Yeah, both of these teams just one win on the season. Now for Tongi, that has meant they won that single contest that they did when they won it 7-0. And all their defeats have also come by multiple goals. So what we're looking for out of Tongi in this one here today is to keep it tight, keep things disciplined early in that first half, and we hope to head into the second game with a close one because, frankly, that would be refreshing for both teams. Basehor-Linwood kind of having the same issue, a big win in that single game that they did record a victory. They also tied a game this season, but both of these teams still looking for consistency, and a big part of looking for consistency early in the season is figuring out who those big goal scorers are going to be. And that's something we saw some good creation with that Basehor-Linwood highlight last time out. We saw them kind of getting it together, but it's the consistency and game to game, especially at the Kansas 4 and 5A high school level that both these teams are at. It's hard to find consistency because the quality of opponents that you face will vary so very much.
Absolutely, and you'll go up against some 6A opponents at times. We'll see some 5A schools like Spring Hill going up against 6A opponents almost every week until they actually play their conference games, and that creates a decent level of disparity there in that conference in the Frontier League. So tonight's presenting sponsor, Tonganoxie Sports Live, is presented by Kansas Insurance. At Kansas Insurance, you'll find personalized coverage designed for you. As an agency, they believe in taking time to ensure personal care and attention to each individual client. To see how Kansas Insurance can help you protect what matters most, call 913-369-6600. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and introduce tonight's pregame show sponsor, which is brought to you by S&S Body Shop. Since 1972, S&S Body Shop has been the place to go in Tonganoxie for auto, body, and repair work. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at s&sautoandbody.com or call 913-369-3193. Special thank you to Kansas Insurance and to S&S Body Shop for sponsoring tonight's broadcast and for tonight's pregame show for S&S Auto and Body. So, Alex, let's go right into it. Let's discuss what we can keep an eye on for these two teams. You mentioned goal scoring has been an issue in all but one game for Tonganoxie. Obviously, they put 7 past their opponents earlier this season, but otherwise they've been struggling to get through that back line. So I'd say a key to the game for success for Tonganoxie would be simple passes.
Yeah.
So, especially at the beginning of the season, you've only had a few games under your belt. I think they've had 5 or 6 games now. It's time to really start perfecting the simplicity and the easy part of the sport, which you say it's easy, but it may not always be, and it's passing to feet. It's finding that spaces in the attack and really working together as a cohesive unit.
Right, it seems obvious, but you can't score without the ball, and the more you possess the ball, the more you control the pace, and to boot, the other team can score when you have it. So with brilliant analysis like that, that's what you can look forward to from me throughout the evening. Yeah, that's really, just establishing the game flow early on. Which side is going to dictate that midfield play? For Basehor-Linwood, they've had a little bit of a tougher schedule so far. Again, these teams essentially almost exactly identical results. So you would think that coming in that they would be the slight favorites. But, of course, Tonganoxie, they're at home today. So they are going to want to put on a show here on what has turned into an absolutely gorgeous day here in Tonganoxie, Kansas, after the pretty explosive rainstorm earlier. At least I was downtown KC, a little far away from here maybe, but really shaped up into a nice spring evening.
Absolutely. A nice spring evening as we have the Bradford pear trees in the background and the jungle gym across the street as well. It is going to be a lovely night. As Alex showed us earlier, the Tonganoxie Chieftains are ready to play, waving at the camera, all smiles on that bench following a comeback draw in the JV game. So hoping the varsity team can do just a bit more than just draw, trying to pull out that full victory on this evening. A player to keep an eye out for on the opposing bench for the Bobcats. Keep an eye out for number 5, Audrey Smith. She led her team in chances created. She had 3 really nice opportunities and shots on target as well in their last match. So keep an eye on number 5, Audrey Smith, the senior, will be causing, or at least looking to cause, some problems for the home Chieftains this evening. So we will get ready with our starting lineup, starting with Tonganoxie. Number 00 for the goalkeeper in net, the senior Sierra Innes for the Chieftains. Number 1, McKenna Clam. Number 4, Caitlin Bothwell. Number 9, Kayla Thornton. Number 10, Sophie Bolthauser. Number 13, Harley Mirando. Number 14, moving from JV to varsity this season, nice jump from Jalen Sparks. Number 16, Gray Vanderweide. Number 18, Grace Weatherford, another JV to varsity transplant during the season. A couple of youngsters making appearances. Number 25, Anna Tochtrup. And number 27, Macy Murray. So that's our home team starters for the Chieftains this evening. And now we'll get a look at the starters for Basehor-Linwood High School. Number 1, Hannah Miller. Number 2, Emma Rothwell. Number 3, Audrey McCarthy. Number 4, Kenna Suchi. Number 5, Audrey Smith. Number 6, Taylor Graff. Number 9, Brianna Shaver. Number 10, Cody Greer. Number 11, Isabel Sharp. Number 13, Sydney Morrison. And number 15, Madison Buckley. So a decent array of ages and strengths for Basehor-Linwood, as they have a primarily junior-sophomore core in their team. Only 2 seniors make the starting lineup for the visitors. And on the flip side, we also have a bit more experience here in Tonganoxie, with more of the junior-senior crowd in this starting lineup, with the exceptions of Weatherford and Sparks, who have made that jump, as I mentioned, in the starting lineups. As we get a nice look at tonight's starters for the Chieftains.
Tristan, so excited for this angle. You saw the close-ups there of this is not typically something that we get to offer for a soccer broadcast, the multi-camera action, but you're going to see both goals. You're going to see all sides of the field. We're not going to miss out on corner kicks. Those have all been technical issues that have affected soccer broadcasts, not only in Tonganoxie, but kind of around the Frontier League as well. So extremely excited to have this kind of advanced technical setup to provide the best possible coverage for these fabulous young athletes who absolutely deserve all of it.
Absolutely, and the starting lineups were brought to you by the Tonganoxie Public Library. The Tonganoxie Public Library offers a wide variety of services for the citizens of our community. Stop by and visit them at 217 East 44th Street. Call 913-845-3281. Special thank you again to the Tonganoxie Public Library. You can also learn more about them and their programs and resources at tonganoxielibrary.org. So as we get ready for the opening kickoff, which is brought to you by Community National Bank and Trust in Tonganoxie. Community National Bank offers a diverse mix of products and services to serve your financial needs. Financing that new home, expanding your small business, needing assistance with your retirement plans, and more at Community National Bank. Learn more at communitynationalbank.net. They are our opening kickoff sponsors. So Alex, attacking from the right side of our screen this evening will be the Chieftains in all red with the white shoulders and white numbers on their backs. The visitors are in all white with dark green Bobcat numbers on the back as the Basehor-Linwood Bobcats will attack from left to right on your screen. So keep an eye again on number 5 for the visitors, Audrey Smith, as she will look to wreak havoc coming in from the wings into the box. Sierra Innes, the goalkeeper, is very experienced in net. The senior for the Chieftains should be able to handle Smith's advances, as should this back line. With the number of juniors and seniors on this roster, there should be plenty of experience out there on the pitch this evening.
A little bit of a color clash out there in terms of the uniform of the official. You see him on your screen right now. Normally, they pick something that's kind of right in between the two colors. Today, that pink just ends up being a little bit close. At least it looks on your screens from our cameras, just a little bit close to that red. But do not be alarmed if you see a middle-aged man on the middle of the field. He is not a participant, at least not as a player.
Not as of yet. So we are underway, and immediately Basehor-Linwood opting to simply launch it long. It took a deflection and then fell back to them. Interesting choice to get started here. Basehor-Linwood are coached by head coach Jeremiah Lavelle with assistant coaches Molly Welsh and Jacob Tabor. The Chieftains are coached by head coach John Orndorff and assistant coaches Kaylee Shaw and Nanako Hollier.
And something else for our viewers at home. Of course, this is our first and actually currently only Tonganoxie girls soccer broadcast of the season. Now, the out-of-bounds lines are not the same as the football field lines. That is something that can be quite confusing as a viewer. It extends well beyond.
That it does, and you can reference the lines that we'll be playing with this evening for this soccer match by looking at the yellow lines. They're a little close to gold in areas, but they're a little harder to see on the green of the grass. But if you're ever questioning what's going on, just look for those yellow and gold. And as that ball goes out of play for a throw-in for the Chieftains, their first of the half.
So you see on your screen that thick white line, the end of that line is out of bounds. That then progresses as you move down the sideline to that yellow line you're talking about. There you go.
Yes, it does. Thank you for showcasing that just in case, as that initial throw-in is put out of play and back to the Bobcats. Weaving inside goes Smith, up to the top. Good ball circulation here from the visitors. In the JV match, we saw the Bobcats go ahead early and then a late Chieftains surge towards the end as they caught back up, tying the match 3-3. And, of course, in JV, that is allowed to end in a draw. Varsity is only allowed to end in a draw at the end of 2 sets of overtime. So ball's thrown back into play, and then it bounces back out of play. Another throw in for the Bobcats around the halfway line.
Yeah, nice contest there, the JV matchup. And almost sad that it could not continue, although we're happy to keep things on schedule for you here on Tongi Live.
Absolutely. Smith now barreling towards the goal as she takes down a defender in the process. Ball is put out of play for a Bobcat throw deep in their attacking third. Emma Rothwell will take this throw in. Setting it in towards the box, looking for Smith. She's able to possess 3. Chieftains collapse on top of her. She's forced to trail it back to the edge of the attacking third. Bobcats trying to find the space down towards this wing. Near side. Rothwell scoops it up, now trying to take it down this near sideline, sending it in towards the box, finds Smith, and she puts it over the bar. But that is why we highlighted number 5. She can be a dagger, a thorn in the side of the defenders. And she is just able to find space everywhere she goes. But no trouble that time for Sierra Innes and the Chieftains as that ball is sent nowhere near the net.
Yeah, that kick could take it short, but you saw a nice run to that back stick, and really nothing the goalkeeper could have done had that shot been on frame.
It was a close range effort as the Chieftains try to force their way down this near side. Ball goes out of play for another Bobcats throw. Their 3rd of the half on this near side, 4th of the game total. They simply cede possession to the Chieftains, but good pressure there from Madison Buckley as she surges forward, and eventually it finds the back of the net. Early goal for the Bobcats as the score officially reaches 1-0 to the visitors.
Yeah, early one just sneaking in there almost out of nothing, following up a dangerous first attack of the game, and able to kind of, after a missed tackle, kind of the possession was battled for by 2 players there, and then it did fall kindly for Basehor-Linwood, but making no mistake, pretty wasteful with that opening easy chance, and then the much more difficult angled shot ends up going in.
Absolutely. Smith now picking up the ball, surging forward on that far sideline, opts to hold up play, trying to send it central again. That goal was scored by Madison Buckley, the right winger who had tucked inside and then eventually pressured this left fullback for the Chieftains, forcing possession onto her own boot. Now Rothwell pushing down this near sideline. Ball's poked out of play, this time in favor of the Chieftains as Grace Weatherford, the freshman, gets to take a throw in. So not the best start for this match, but certainly something to build from. Only place to go is up, right? So here we go, and the ball is sent back to the Bobcats. Looking for a shot on the right foot, sends it, and this one goes over the bar again. Just 3 shots pretty quickly in succession here in the last minute and a half or so. One of them finding the back of the net, the second goal kick in as many minutes. This will be taken by senior Caitlin Bothwell.
And you want to stay cool here if you're Tongi. Remember, Tonganoxie, they have not scored in a game in which the opponent scored. So they've only won the single game 7-0. They have not scored in other games. So need to be able to respond here.
Graff scoops it up, looking for the cross down by the far touch line, and that's an easy collection from Innes. She might as well have been ringing a bell out in front of a J.C. Penney, how easy that was to collect. Innes opting to send it short, and it goes out of play just over, I believe that was Kayla Thornton down here on this near side. Good shielding there from the freshman. Weatherford not willing to be bested again down this near sideline by Buckley. Weatherford shields it out for another goal kick. Their 3rd of the half for the Chieftains.
And yeah, so you do have Tongi taking that goal kick using one of the center backs. That is something that is fairly common to see at this level.
Absolutely. Educational sport, sometimes you want to allow the goalkeeper to keep in their space in the area that's comfortable for them.
It's hard enough already,
exactly,
to be the goalkeeper.
Exactly. You want to give them as much time as possible to get set and ready to go. As looks like there was an illegal throw, and now the play will be halted again as there's another ball on the pitch. Just a little bit of light chaos. The ball is going to be put back into play.
And illegal throw. I actually learn a lot of Kansas high school rules on the fly. Of course, the illegal throw-in is not specific to high school in any type of way, but that's one that I learned on the intramural field. I learned how to mess it up and therefore how to then do it correctly.
For those of you who are curious what an illegal throw looks like, we will be demonstrating after the match in the parking lot. No, I kid. Basically, in order for it to be a legal throw, both feet have to stay on the ground. You can drag a toe is what it's typically taught at the grassroots level. So occasionally you'll see one foot lift up, and the reason that's illegal is because it just allows the thrower to get a little bit more momentum and power behind a throw. As the Chieftains get another throw in on the far side, and you can see she keeps both of her feet on the ground. Chieftains trying to string together some passes in their defensive third. The Bobcats doing a nice bit of high pressing.
Yeah, nice duel there. I think that was Smith involved for a Basehor-Linwood, and then the Tonganoxie defender got past the first defender, the second defender kind of tugging at her jersey, and that resulted in the foul. Good officiating as well.
Indeed, and there are 6 Bobcats in and around the box as this free kick is going to be lofted in towards the penalty spot, and that will be ushered out of play by Innes and out for another goal kick. So a lot of early chances for the visitors in the opening 10 minutes or so as we will look to progress and play out of the back moving forward. That time it is a bit stronger than what was anticipated by the Chieftains midfield. Bobcats look to circulate possession now, and that is simply just passed out of play. Good pressure there from Haley Mirando, the sophomore, number 13 for the Chieftains. That ball will go out of play again. Another throw in for the Chieftains.
And one thing we do watch is kind of when one team starts to dominate a whole lot of the possession, a whole lot of the play, where do their center backs stand? Because that can tell you how much a team feels like they can just keep the pressure on. And when the Bobcats have the ball, those 2 center backs are well inside of the Tongi half. You'll see him kind of right, actually either side of that T, kind of at that 45-yard line.
And it's also interesting to see, as you mentioned, the Bobcats defensive lineup. When the ball was all the way back in the defensive third for the Bobcats, the Chieftains back line was also in their back third. So that just shows a difference in confidence and a difference in strategy, in all honesty. One not willing to cede too much space, and the other wanting to play more possession as Buckley weaves and drives through some defenders, sending the cross in. It's just in front of Smith, and that will go all the way across. Good shielding there from Mirando, and that will go out for yet another goal kick. We do have a substitute ready to come on for the Chieftains. Center official has yet to be notified of such a play, and the substitute will have to wait. Bailey Englehart is ready to come on for the home team, and another foul is called by the center official. This time it is further in the offensive third for the visitors.
Yeah, similar type of position, but this one almost level with the top of the D, and that allows a kind of hooked delivery maybe into the back post area.
A lot of times the strategy here is to put the ball, so when you're putting it, you either want to put it as an in-swinger or as an out-swinger. This will clearly be an in-swinger ball, and you want to put that on frame just in case. That is exactly why you put it on frame. The ball bounces through all the bodies. There's enough chaos that goalkeeper couldn't quite make out whether it was going wide or not, and that is a goal, the second of the evening for the visitors.
And just trying to see who that was being mobbed there. Hard to see the numbers on the far side of the screen, but you're exactly right. I mean, that one not touched, but it might as well have been. It looks a little rough on the goalkeeper, but then you have to consider the fact that that ball went directly past 4 or 5 bodies. Each one of them could have just reached out a toe and altered the trajectory. And the effect of that is even when they don't apply that touch, you still end up with a keeper that's kind of hesitant to react to the ball just because they want to stay on their toes, able to get a deflection that ended up never coming.
Absolutely. So that goal actually went to Taylor Graff in the 11th minute as Aubrey Smith tries to force her way through play. And the Chieftains made 2 substitutions. Englehart came on, as did a switch of position for Kayla Thornton as she went further back. Allie Rawlings checks in. The senior checks in now as the left winger. So clearly a shift of tactics, moving a couple of forwards into the back line and then taking off a couple of the back line. Coach Orndorff trying to change up the feel. Sometimes all that's needed is a quick substitution, and we see one of them already ready to check back in as number 8, Ceci England, is ready to come on. So a new striker and a new left winger for the Chieftains as they look to get something going the other direction, trying to scale back this 2-goal lead. Graff having on this near side another shot and a nice diving save from Innes. Emma Rothwell that time with the shot as she weaved through on this near side, finding space, striking it hard with her right foot along the ground.
Yeah, that one feels good for the keeper after 2 pretty difficult chances early on in this game and 2 goals past her, responding with a big save.
Absolutely, a big save indeed. Not wanting to concede a 3rd goal this half, as this is a corner kick for the Bobcats. It's lofted high and well done, and that will take a deflection and go just wide. Goal kick, says the official. It was a nice strike right at the penalty spot, and second attempt from Emma Rothwell is sent wide. Good pressure from the Chieftains to cause a little bit of stress and anxiety in her head as that looked to be almost certain goal.
Substitution for the Chieftains, number 8.
It absolutely did, and you see it's the same type of ball that ended up squirting past the goalie into the Tongi net for that second Basehor-Linwood goal. That time, though, you just actually saw the players reaching out and kicking it, but neither the players nor the goalie sometimes can react quickly enough.
And another substitution there is Ceci England checks in. Jalen Sparks makes way. So a reversion for a bit more seniority in this lineup as more and more seniors continue to check in. Ceci just a junior, but 2 other seniors did check in these 3 substitutions that we've seen. So interesting. And you could see Coach Orndorff there in the bottom right of your screen was having a little conversation with Sparks, just a coaching moment, as I like to call them. It's a teachable moment, right? You bring the player off, you explain to them, that's not your fault, or maybe it was your fault, but at the same time, you can learn from this, and it doesn't have to be a negative moment. You can just explain, all right, maybe position a little bit differently here, try to keep your body square, try to jockey a little bit more in defense, and that allows for better turning and less space to be conceded to the opposition. Since these substitutes have been made, more balls have been played towards the middle of the park from the Chieftains, be that just simply a clearance or trying to find what seems to be their new target forward in Bailey Englehart, the sophomore, number 33, who is playing that striker role. She is one of the tallest girls out on the pitch this evening. So look to her to try to hold up play a little bit and distribute. Good clearance there by Bolthauser.
Unfortunately, though, for Englehart, you see her right now, every time that she's going to be taking up that type of space, at least 2 players around her, but really it looks like 3. It looks like that deepest midfield player for Basehor-Linwood also kind of drops deep to surround her and haven't really seen any other attackers get up in support. That can change if you create a turnover like that one, though.
Yes, good pressure there from England stepping up into the back of the opposition. And now Kraft tries to send it across. It's deflected well by McKenna Clam. Clam still in pursuit and forces the goal kick. Well done by the junior defender. Getting the start at that right back spot. Taylor Graff with 1 goal already on the evening. Not allowed a second. And that goal kick finds Graff. She lays it off first time to Smith, looking for the strike with her right. And a calm, cool, collected collection from Innes as she scoops that one up, no problems. And the redistribution finds the opposition as Rothwell's central ball gives up possession again. No one quite able to string together any passes, and as I say that, Rothwell collects it again, sending it to the middle of the park finds McCarty. Forward to Smith. Chieftains applying pressure well against Smith. They clearly noticed that she is already trying to facilitate the attack for their opposition. Another substitution here is Stella Bradley will check in. It looks like it will be
Number 21, Stella Bradley.
number 13, Harley Miranda, will be leaving the match, at least for the time being. Another coachable moment with head coach Orndorff.
Well, that's the great thing, too. You don't have to mess up for it to be a coachable moment, too. You can just come off and get some, that is, I am perhaps a proponent of the purity of the game, of not being a fan, per se, of the sub-in, sub-out. I know at this level in high school, I just dislike that the rule extends to college, to be honest. I'm okay with high schools, but one huge advantage, there's no doubt, of that rule set is that you can just get so much more coaching, so much more instruction within the game itself rather than in film study later.
As Smith presses in towards the box, looking for the shot, and will slot it into this near side corner right past Ennis. Ennis did a nice job there of trying to cut off that angle, coming out to the edge of her 6, trying to cut off that spot, but by the time that Smith had regained possession behind the final defender, it was almost too late for Ennis to make much of a move at all, and Smith adds her name to the score sheet in just the 17th minute of play, 16th, excuse me, and a double switch now for the visitors.
And we did know that she would be dangerous in this one. That one, I think, maybe just a case of the sustained offensive pressure, the defenders really standing tall, clearing a number of chances, but then when you're not able to possess it in the opposition's half, give them a minute to breathe and collect themselves, as we see so many times in both boys and girls high school soccer. That kind of really long defensive intensity that's needed can cause you to just lapse in a key moment.
And when that lapse happens, it's also tough to kind of pull yourself out of that mental space.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another great reason to use a substitute, to have that coaching moment, as you were discussing right before the opportunity to Aubrey Smith. One nice thing about those coachable moments during a match, you mentioned that there are far more opportunities to coach during the games, and especially with as crammed of a season as they have in high schools, it's 2 matches, 3 matches each week. It's hard to find time in practice where you don't want to run your athletes ragged in practice. As you know, they're going to have to get ready for another game in just a few days. So it's nice to have those strategic moments where they are able to fully stretch their legs, fully play against another school and get those opportunities in game. It's the Bobcats trying to maintain possession now. Good pressure from the Chieftains, forcing it back towards the midway line. Back with Graff on the far side. No pressure yet. Clam steps up. Forward ball is cleared away. Excuse me, that pressure was by Thornton. The clearance was by Clam. Back with Graff, sending a cross in towards the box. Buckley was there, but not quick enough, as Ennis claims that one no problem. Ennis opting for the drop kick. As far as Englehart, and that ball will go out of play. Throw in for the Chieftains.
I mean, if one thing tells you how this game is going right now, mention the cool tech that we've got today, but I have not pressed the number 1 button yet. I have not switched to this, what is camera 1, as I might be about to. Tonganoxie finally on the attack, but they have not yet threatened that Basehor-Linwood goal.
And they certainly will need to start doing that if they are to have any hope of keeping this match at a competitive level. As Basehor-Linwood regains possession in the middle of the park. Good pressure there from the Chieftains as they force it back towards the midway line. Clam in pursuit. Good defense there from number 27, Macy Murray, the sophomore, comes all the way across to force that one out of the possession of number 8, Alyssa Cervantes. Opportunity here as the Bobcats try to pass around at the top of the box. Chieftains say no thank you and clear it wide. Ball now with Rothwell, looking for the cross. Pretty deep cross to be setting that forward ball with that much pace. It gets deflected back, and now they retain possession at the halfway line.
And this phase of play has been the difference. After that initial attack kind of fades out, Tongi not been able to recycle things and then try to look for another avenue. They've just kind of ran out of possession, and Basehor-Linwood been able to keep the ball.
Number 16, Gray Vanderwide.
Another substitution here is number 16, Gray Vanderwide checks in. And she will come on for number 25, Anna Tochtrup. Just a modification, not necessarily of the setup of the team as far as the formation is concerned, but maybe a new body in that deep-lying central defensive midfield role will help with a bit of the pressure that's being played onto the back line, specifically onto those center backs with all those runs through their back line. Graf now. Clam cuts out the pass. Clears it away amid impending pressure from Cervantes. Rothwell able to cut beyond that back line. Still maintains possession. Despite the deflection from Murray. Cutting it back. Well done from the Chieftains, applying plenty of pressure. Excellent job from Gray Vanderwide. Excuse me, that was Weatherford who was applying that pressure. Freshman not giving up on that play as this ball goes out of play for another goal kick. It will be taken by Clam. Another substitution, this time for the Chieftains, as Englehart, who has been doing nothing but running and doing her best to maintain possession up at that striker role, comes off. Number 21, Stella Bradley, will check back in.
Yeah, it's hard to be that only outlet, and that's what she has been so far.
And it almost begs the question if a shift of formation is necessary, because you look at how crammed these defenders are, as Innes does well there amid pressure from Cervantes collecting that ball, but they're almost dropping back into two banks of four.
Right.
Instead of playing this 4-3-3 that they started with. The numbers, of course, going from the back line, midfield, and then forward line is the final number. So the four defenders, three midfielders with that deep-lying defensive midfielder, and then a double pivot 8, or box-to-box midfielders, as they may be referred to.
Like that turn there in midfield, Basehor-Linwood midfielder, but not the passing connection required.
Macy McKissick, number 7, did a nice turn there indeed. She jumps back onto this ball. The tall forward trying to keep it in play, looking for a cross. The assistant official on the near sideline calls it out of play for a throw-in, and another substitution will be made for the Chieftains. As number 14, Jalen Sparks, will come back on, and number 4, Caitlin Bothwell, will exit. So a sophomore for a senior, and a captain at that, as Bothwell takes a seat, grabs a bit of water, possibly a coachable moment on the sideline. Clam coming forward. Good movement there for the throw-in, but it is not meant to be as the ball falls to Rothwell. Good forward progression from the Bobcats, and a nice clearance, or at least a cutout and an attempted clearance that eventually goes out of play for a throw-in by Weatherford. Still yet to press that number 1 button over there, Alex, but Chieftains are slowly making their way down.
And looking more confident defensively, too. I think especially that first bank of 4, those midfielders kind of are feeling a little bit more comfortable pressuring the ball before it gets too deep.
And whether you're going to have to use the 1 for the attack or for just simply the maintenance of possession, you may get an opportunity here as soon as I say that, they start to play out of the number 1 zone. Rothwell with a nice run down this near sideline. A great pass from McKissick to find her run. Cross sent in towards the penalty area. Nobody's there, and it's easily collected by Innes. Cervantes was crashing that ball, but too late. Good idea from the opposition. The Bobcats trying to find their 4th of the match. It's been all quiet on the visitors' front.
And
go ahead.
Yeah, that's trouble a couple times now that McKissick kind of got the ball on that outlet spot. But you see what support can do for her. You see when you can turn and you have someone not necessarily running ahead of you, but just running somewhere alongside in your vicinity, and gives you an option. And gives you an opportunity to kind of make one of those nifty turns, and not only make it, but make it count in terms of progressing the ball, creating a chance.
Absolutely, and creating chances has really been all that the Bobcats have done in this whole match. It's just one opportunity after another, just unleashing a salvo of chances as they try to push forward. A foul is called on Cervantes, so the Bobcats will get another free kick, their third of the half on that far side in the attacking third, just on that 25-yard line if you're looking at the American football lines. As another substitute, two more substitutes get ready to come in for the Chieftains. Free kick is sent up towards the D. Rothwell sends it forward. McKissick slides into it, and it goes into the hands of Innes. No problem. Good, calm, cool, collected goalkeeping from Sierra Innes. And the Chieftains immediately concede possession back at the middle of the park.
That has been probably the strongest aspect of the Tongi defense, has been against those set plays. They do hold a high line, which is something that we've seen done with varying levels of success, or even attempted offside line, but nice job defending the set plays.
McKissick with a nice turn again. Able to find the space, playing it in towards the box for Cervantes. She will get there. Cutting it back, looking for Graff. There are bodies in and around the box. Back to Cervantes, back to Graff. No offsides, says the official on the near side. Takes a deflection. Not sure what that call is. It may be a handball.
Yeah, I think they got a handball. I think that hit the elbow of the Tongi defender. And this was a really nice piece of play. Actually, despite wearing the red-tinted Tongi glasses, that was a really nice piece of play by Basehor-Linwood. I was bummed out to see it stopped by an inadvertent handball.
This free kick is sent right into the hands of Innes. She bounces it off the ground once just to reaffirm herself that she had it, and then puts her boot through it. But that handball was right on the edge of the area.
Yep.
Even an inch in towards the net, more so, and it would have been a penalty kick. Glad we didn't have to have one of those this early in the match, as two substitutes check in for the Chieftains. Sophie Bolthauser and number 34, Brianna Lang, both checking in. Number 2, Allie Rawlings, and number 21, Stella Bradley are the two making way. So another couple of changes here as the Chieftains just try to find that right mixture. Haven't quite found the right recipe yet, but trying to match the Bobcats as McKissick plays in Rothwell. She plays the shot, and it's deflected. And center official says no save, and then adjusts his call. Corner kick awarded for the visitors.
Yeah, certainly thought that the keeper did touch that one. It rolled very slowly across the face of goal.
Looked almost certain that Innes had touched that. Maybe getting ready for something off of the training ground now as the Bobcats all cluster together at the top of the box. With two defenders back, even their goalkeeper is on the 30-yard line for American football, as this is a beautifully lofted cross in towards the box. It's on top of the penalty spot. Plenty of bodies around, just somebody needs to put a boot through it, and finally a foul's called in favor of the Chieftains. Graff went to ground, and the official didn't like that. So free kick awarded to the home team. As the Chieftains in red will now try to play out of the back and eventually just opt to clear it away amid the pressure from McKissick. Rothwell finding McKissick just outside the box on the near side, cutting it back. Looking for the cross and is able to earn the corner kick, goes McKissick.
Bobcat corner kick.
Another corner for the Bobcats. This time it will be taken by Irene Regazzi, the senior defender for Basehor-Linwood. She checked in after the third goal for the visitors. Just 12 minutes remaining here in this first half of play. Ball is sent low and hard, finds the knee of McKissick, and then rolls through everybody else. Sparks is there, able to send it only as far as still in the box. And then well dribbled out of pressure goes Thornton. Finds England. Good turn there from Ceci England. And then the forward progression is halted as Bolthauser couldn't quite get her foot on it. Good pressure there from Bolthauser, though. England and Bolthauser both in the attacking half. First couple of passes for the Chieftains in their attacking half this match.
And that is a perfect example of what I was speaking about earlier, was that need for support. Now, in this kind of 4-4-2 formation, it doesn't have to be very organized or strategic when you have two forwards. They can do whatever they want. They can do anything.
McKissick now barreling into the box, cutting it onto her left foot, and a nice save there from Innes. Right at her, but still calm, cool, and collected as she has been all match long. Cool like the blue on her shirt as she boots that one long, only as far as Rothwell, trying to keep it in play, and good pressure there from number 34, Brianna Lang, as the junior forces the throw in.
And
Another substitution there as number 4, Bothwell, checks back in to this match.
Yeah, McKissick did not start this game, but has absolutely been the most dangerous Basehor-Linwood player since that third goal was scored. Really, every time with the ball at her feet is looking to create something.
And that height and speed that she's able to combine with her long legs, able to get that nice deep stride in her run, it's hard to keep up. If you look at her out there, she's almost head and shoulders above every single Chieftain player out there.
Right.
As Rothwell is able to collect. Good poke away there from Weatherford. And that goes out of play for a Bobcat throw. Rothwell looking for the space to find McKissick. She will do so. McKissick, one-time cross. Beautiful. Well done there. It finds Graff, but she's unaware of where it is. And then slots it home for the 4th of the game. Well done from Graff. Ball gets trapped under her, doesn't know quite where it is, but one thing she does know is right where that goal is, and is able to slot that home before Innes is able to figure out where the ball is. 4-0 to the visiting Basehor-Linwood Bobcats.
Yeah, the standout part of that goal, I think it is the cross. Even though it came in initially, that ball kind of bounced around and was not controlled in that initial phase. So we have just under 10 minutes to play and need Tongi with something on goal here before halftime.
Just some sort of opportunity in the attacking third would be great, just to have some sort of emotional momentum, right? You want to up the spirits, because it's hard to go down 4 goals in one half in just 31 minutes. Taylor Graff having 2. It's hard to find that spark that is maybe lacking here. Is good idea there to trail it back into the midfield, but
that third pass just hasn't been there for Tongi. The first 2 are starting to work. Frankly, in the first 10 minutes, you didn't even get the first 2 passes, but it is locking in just a little bit for the Chieftains.
And they're slowly warming into this match. In the pregame, we discussed how simply stringing together passes will be important for the Chieftains in this match, and it's if nothing else, we've been validated in that point, as they've struggled, as you mentioned, to find that third pass and then that fourth pass, and it's hard to see them finding it, but they certainly will. Maybe all they need is a little pep talk from Coach Orndorff at halftime. Throw in awarded to the home team as another substitution is made here. Number 2, Allie Rawlings, checking back in. She will take this throw as Brianna Lang takes a seat. Short throw is the option she selects, and then it is dribbled out of play by Bothwell. So Rothwell will take the throw. Cervantes with a nice trap of that throw in, and a switch of fields from Rothwell. Sharp applying pressure, and is able to come away with possession, trailing it all the way back to the back line for the visitors. Ragazzi finding McKissick. Good hold-up play. That right there is what we were discussing earlier, that we thought that Engelhardt was going to try to do with the ball. Simply just receive the ball with the defender to your back, trap it, hold up play so that you can turn and distribute to another player that may be making a run on either wing or even just right beside you. Cervantes' central ball is cleared away, but only as far as Sharp, who sends it forward.
The interesting thing is McKissick is kind of doing that, what's typically a target forward role, but doing it completely from the right wing.
And it's interesting how they're overloading this right wing.
Yeah.
Rothwell is way high as the right fullback as her opportunity must have been across. I thought for a moment it was going to be a shot, but it ended up being across, all the way across and out for a throw in on the far side. But they're so overloading this right side. Both of their fullbacks are just getting so far into the attack. It almost at times feels like McKissick should be tucking in as more of that creative 10, right? Mm-hmm. Just using that hold-up play to sort of redistribute with Rothwell and maybe somebody else in the middle of the park. She's tried to connect with Cervantes a few times. But the Chieftains are doing a nice job of forcing everything out to the wings, as when it gets into the middle of the park, they're trying their best to deny anything that could be going as Rothwell finds space, putting it onto her right foot, finding McKissick now. The cross in towards the box. It finds Cervantes off the post. Innes was there, caused enough havoc to have Cervantes just a bit too frazzled, unable to put that on frame, and that is just unlucky there from the Chieftains as that goes out of play for a throw-in. And two of the starters check back in. McKissick, who has been a menace since checking on, will check out. She'll be replaced by Madison Buckley, who was the first to add her name to the team sheet for either squad as she scored in just the 4th minute of play, opening her account on the day. Heavy opportunity there from Graff, looking for her 3rd on the day, a hat trick, if you will. It's collected by Innes, but the center official calls for a foul and a free kick to be awarded. Madison Buckley will take this for the visitors.
Yeah, not sure what caused the foul on this play, but the first free kick opportunity kind of from the center part of the field today for Basehor-Linwood.
Buckley, free kicks from the center of the pitch are always an awkward space. You can either opt for the shot, as she does here, and she sends it just wide on the far side. Innes looked like she had that all day long if it was on target. But it's interesting because you don't really want to stack the box per se, but you want to have some bodies maybe more so towards the wing so you can lay it off, maybe trail it back a little bit. But that was honestly probably the best idea that she could have come up with as Buckley opted for the shot. Goal kick awarded to the home team. Clam subbed out and Totstrup subbed back in after that free kick for the Bobcats. And now Graff sending the cross. Totstrup able to cut it out, trying to find an outlet on the far sideline. She's able to find the feet of Bolthauser before it's cleared away for another throw-in for the Chieftains. Just under 4 minutes remaining in this first half. Alex, what would you say is something that they can work on in the second half, the Chieftains?
Yeah, well, just going beyond just the midfield interplay, it's making sure you do have a second forward player in support at all times. Frankly, at this point, trailing by multiple goals, and you've seen this already in this season for this team. In this game, the most important thing in the second half is not necessarily to score goals or score multiple goals, but you do need to create some chances because you got to change this trend of just, either scoring 7 or not scoring at all. You need to have some balance to the play. And a part of that balance is both learning how to defend with maybe one fewer player if you leave a body up there. But it's kind of a little bit not necessarily what you would expect as the key because they have struggled defensively too, but you're going to need to have an extra player up.
And speaking of extra players up, there were 2 Bobcats there, Graff and Buckley, who were trying to create some interplay there, and that is a perfect highlight of what that additional player can do. We saw that earlier, as you mentioned, with the connection between Bolthauser and I believe it was it's not Englehart. It was England. Mm-hmm. Englehart, England. It's very close in my mind. But between those 2 players, they were trying to string together a couple of passes in the attacking third. They found 2, almost 3, and then possession was conceded. And there we see the pressure from the Bobcats forcing possession away. Buckley not able to get on the end of that. Well done from number 14, Jalen Sparks.
And the other thing I want to see in the second half from Tongi is swarm the ball. You want to swarm the soccer ball, not only without the ball, which they have kind of changed their game plan to lock in on, kind of do a better job of on the defensive side, but swarm to the ball offensively when you have it too. Provide support. And that doesn't mean just the forwards. That means the midfielders. That means everyone. Run into space and be an option.
And finding that space will enable you to string together more of those passes like we've been discussing.
Mm-hmm.
So we will await this goal kick as maybe one of the final actions. Hopefully it'll be the final action in this final third for Tonganoxie. And Todstrup, when she checked back in, she'll be taking this goal kick. When she checked back into this match, she checked in as a center back as opposed to that defensive midfield role. So clearly head coach Orndorff trying to shuffle a bit of the tactics. As Rothwell is able to collect. Shuffles it off for Buckley. Buckley with a nice cut back, looking for her right-footed shot. Finds the space, takes the shot, and it goes wide on the near side. Goal kick yet again for Innis, as we are just within a minute left in this first half. The scoreline reads 4-0 to the visiting Bobcats. Goals were scored in the 4th, 11th, 16th, and 31st minutes, 2 of which to Graff, who is not necessarily a player that we were anticipating being a troublemaker for this Chieftains back line. Miller playing it forward. Rothwell. Regazi. And the Bobcats simply maintaining possession to see out this first half. Morrison all the way to the far sideline for Graff as she leaves that one. And that should do it for this first half. As at the end of 40 minutes, we are 4-0 to the away side. Chieftains with plenty of work cut out for them, and can they grow in this next half? We will see right back here on Tonganoxie Sports Live. Keep it right here for more Tonganoxie Girls Varsity Soccer.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to S&S Body Shop in Tonganoxie. S&S has been the area's premier auto collision repair center since 1972, working on all makes and models, glass replacement, bumper repair, fiberglass and plastic, color matching, and more. Plus, they work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at sandsautoandbody.com or call 913-369-3193.
From its native roots to the bustling community it is today, Tonganoxie's past is as unique as its future. With small-town charm and big city amenities, Tonganoxie is the ideal place to grow a business and grow a family. Just 20 minutes from both Lawrence and Kansas City, Tonganoxie is perfectly positioned. Take an afternoon and come explore Tonganoxie. To learn more, go to tonganoxie.org.
Shop local and save at Brothers Market in Tonganoxie, where we treat you like family. Brothers Market has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy fresh cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need. From apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to cool crisp lettuce. Brothers Market, open daily. Learn more at shopbrothersmarket.com. The same look and location of a classic drugstore with the services and supplies of a modern pharmacy. That's what you'll find at the Downtown Drug Store in Tonganoxie. Of course, Downtown Drug is the local choice for your prescriptions and health needs, but did you know they have the best selection of Tonganoxie Pride and Chieftain game day gear in town? And a whole lot more. Cards, gifts, home decor, and even the best way to satisfy that sweet tooth. The Downtown Drug Store. Call 913-369-3800 or visit them online at thedowntowndrugstore.com.
Well, we had our first baby.
It is beautiful or handsome.
Oh, it's a boy.
We're interested in life insurance.
And we bought a bigger car.
Yeah.
Bigger car. Here is your plan. Goodbye.
When protecting your future, count on a human. Only a Farm Bureau Financial Services agent will sit down with you for a super check and together create a plan that works for you. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Contact Farm Bureau agents Tex Vandervoort and Jerry Sanders in Tonganoxie today.
First State Bank and Trust is with you wherever you are with complete online banking. Cheering on the Chieftains once again? Why not pay your bills online? Waiting on your kiddos to get out of school? Seems like a good time to make a transfer. Or how about making a deposit from here? Back in the gym for another night? Why not get an e-statement while you cheer on Tongi? And of course, at First State Bank and Trust, you can always bank from right here. Come on in and see us and get your very own Chieftain card. To learn more about all the great ways to bank with First State Bank and Trust, go to firststateks.com. Has your furnace left you out in the cold? Pipes plugged? Are you underwater with your water heater? If so, you'll be glad you called Ladd. Ladd Service Company in Tonganoxie has been your heating, cooling, and plumbing specialist since 1986. Ladd is your dealer for top quality brands like York, Aprilaire, and Wolverine Brass. Plus, they maintain and service all other brands. Schedule your appointment by calling 913-369-3509. Visit laddserviceco.com to see why you'll be glad you called Ladd.
Midwest Chiropractic Center in Tonganoxie is ready to get you back to being the active, energetic person you want to be. Midwest Chiropractic offers a friendly and caring environment with the most comprehensive care for your chiropractic, rehabilitative, and fitness needs. Dr. Robert Shook and Dr. Daniel Haug at Midwest Chiropractic Center care about your health, and their approach to care proves it. To schedule your appointment, call 913-369-0022 or visit them at mwchiropractic.com.
Sports Scribe.
Welcome back to Tonganoxie Sports Live here at BD Field as Tonganoxie Chieftains girls varsity soccer is underway on a beautiful night in Tonganoxie, Kansas. It is 68 degrees, not a cloud in the sky as long as you don't look to your right screen. And there is some beautiful soccer being played. Unfortunately, the majority of it has been in the Tonganoxie defensive half.
Right.
The scoreline at half shows the visiting Bobcats have 4, thanks to goals in the 4th, 11th, 16th, and 31st minutes. But in that the final 10 minutes of that first half, the Chieftains really started to figure it out on defense. As we get a nice look at the halftime talk for the visitors. Great hat on head coach Jeremiah Lavelle as he works with the Bobcats. But we're going to talk to you during this halftime show, which is brought to you by White Birch Properties Realty Executives. At White Birch Properties, you have a team of agents ready to help you buy or sell that next house. Their team is ready to lead you to success in the real estate game. Visit them at 1203 State Ave Street B in Tonganoxie or call 913-915-0451. Special thank you to White Birch Properties for sponsoring this halftime show. The next thing we're going to discuss in this halftime show, Alex, what is that, you may ask? Well, Alex, let me tell you. We're talking about area matchups because there's nothing that quite gets the blood boiling like seeing a rival succeed. So tonight's area matchups are brought to you by Team Tongi. Since 2009, Team Tongi has been helping Tonganoxie families facing serious health and medical issues. Team Tongi also partners with other community organizations to provide assistance. To learn how you can help, visit teamtongi.com. This evening's area matchups are Eudora is playing Lansing and Ottawa is playing Gardner High School. We don't have those scores right on hand, but we will do our best to pull those up for you as soon as we can. Maybe the Acacia website will have better updated scores, but we will get those to you if we can find them.
Yeah, unfortunately, spring sports are pretty hit and miss when it comes to that kind of stuff, and so is the scheduling. You know, when you have basketball broadcasts, every single doubleheader, the girls start at, 5:30, I think, and then the guys start at 7:15 or whatever. Everyone gets the scores online. Everything functions in a linear, predictable manner. That just is not the case in terms of spring sports whatsoever. So apologies for no live scores, but we do have some more, I think. What is it? This Tonganoxie team is going to be in action again tomorrow, I believe, against Lewisburg. That is a Frontier League clash.
That they will. And
a strong Lewisburg team, too.
Indeed, a strong Lewisburg team, indeed. And what we can promise you is more Tonganoxie Sports Live action coming at you with live scores for this game coming up right after these messages. Keep it here, folks.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to S&S Body Shop in Tonganoxie. S&S has been the area's premier auto collision repair center since 1972, working on all makes and models, glass replacement, bumper repair, fiberglass and plastic, color matching, and more. Plus, they work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back at the game. Learn more at sandsautoandbody.com or call 913-369-3193.
From its native roots to the bustling community it is today, Tonganoxie's past is as unique as its future. With small-town charm and big city amenities, Tonganoxie is the ideal place to grow a business and grow a family. Just 20 minutes from both Lawrence and Kansas City, Tonganoxie is perfectly positioned. Take an afternoon and come explore Tonganoxie. To learn more, go to tonganoxie.org.
For a winning team, contact White Birch Properties, the real estate MVPs. Whether you're an athlete looking to get back for another big win or you're just trying to win at life, Dr. Adam Ludwin at Win Chiropractic and Sports Therapy can get you back in the game. Dr. Adam has the tools and skills to have you feeling your best in no time with chiropractic adjustment, physical therapy, cupping, taping, muscle scraping, on-site x-ray, and more. Lose the pain and win the day at Win Chiropractic and Sports Therapy, now open in Tonganoxie. Book online at winchiropracticst.com or call 913-214-1020.
Wizard of Paws, now at their newly renovated location in downtown Tonganoxie, offers personalized pet grooming, doggy daycare, dog obedience, and socialization classes. At Wizard of Paws, your pet will get a one-on-one grooming experience, ensuring they return to you quickly and looking fabulous. And their new facility offers amenities and space that is doggone amazing. Call Wizard of Paws at 913-416-0255 or visit their new location at 406 East 4th Street in Tonganoxie. Learn more at wizardofpawspet.com.
Welcome back to Tonganoxie Sports Live. I am Tristan Jordan, joined again by Alex Smith. He is running the cameras with his fun multi-button, multi-camera setup. This half we are hoping to be able to not have to use button number one like we didn't in the first half, but for different reasons this time around. We are all set for the second 40 minutes here in Tonganoxie, Kansas for this matchup between the Basehor-Linwood Bobcats and the Tonganoxie Chieftains. The score after the first half was 4-0. So it will be intriguing to see if the Chieftains can play out of pressure this time around. Alex, when you think about it, as there's an early opportunity here from Smith as that ball is cleared away just before it could reach Buckley. But let's talk about some keys to the game, which are brought to you by the Tonganoxie Business Association. The Tonganoxie Business Association works to bring the community together by nurturing and caring for our businesses while working toward add value to each other and to our community. Learn more about the area businesses or become a member by visiting TonganoxieBusinessAssociation.com. So, Alex, similar to the keys to having a good, successful business, what's a good key for the Tonganoxie Chieftains?
Well, don't give up offensively. Do not just shut things down, as that one was played right along the face of the goal. But do not allow this offensive pressure from Basehor-Linwood to kind of cause you to just abandon any semblance of offense here.
So try to simplify the passes. Try to keep your mentality strong, as some good dribbling here for the Chieftains. Number 16, Gray Vanderwide, dribbled through a few different defenders on that occasion. Possession was regained, and the distribution down to Rothwell on the far side, as we saw that connection quite frequently in the first half for the visitors. Rothwell was a massive reason for their success. She will look to continue her involvement as Cody Greer tries to continue that strong relationship with Rothwell, as that ball goes out of play in favor of a throw-in for the Chieftains. Englehart not able to maintain possession that time, but does well to poke it away for a throw-in for the visitors. Rothwell opts for the long option, sending it forward. Sharp was the intended target if we want to talk quarterback to wide receiver, as in this football we don't often get to use our hands, but when we do our best to tie it into other things. Good move there from Rothwell as she sends it towards the middle of the park. Good pressure there from the Chieftains, as they've seemed to have moved their line of confrontation up a bit. In the first half, their line of confrontation, which is obviously the point on the pitch in which they decide, all right, let's pressure the ball. They've decided to move that a little bit closer to the midway line. Not quite as deep in their own defensive third. Bobcats with a good spell of possession here.
Really good spell, moving it from the right side to the left side, now back to that right-hand flank.
Finally, it goes out of play off of Rothwell, and that will be a Tonganoxie throw-in. Good pressure from Sharp early after that throw. But Bothwell does well to use her body. Offsides is the call, as Audrey Smith, who was in the game for the first 16 minutes and was nothing but a handful, nothing if not a handful, for this Chieftains back line. She's caught off sides early in the second half, as the Chieftains clearly got a message from head coach John Orndorff to solidify up their lines, talk a little bit more, and try to draw that a bit more often. Good pressure from Smith as Chieftains disagree with that call.
Yeah, Tongi all the way back into that home locker room, of course, and you didn't see the same from Basehor-Linwood opting to stay right in front of their bench. Let us kind of get the visual. Coaches a nice bucket hat there in the halftime talk.
Absolutely. You can't go wrong with a nice bucket hat, especially when it's a straw bucket hat like that. It's woven. Graff weaving through defenders, sending it central, looking for Smith. It's poked away only as far as Suchi, and that strike goes wide. Not incredibly wide, though. Certainly not a bad effort from the visitors. Ennis looked like she had it under control, though, had it curved on target. A goal kick is awarded to the home team.
Apologies, folks, trying to keep all of the numbers in your screen. Now we only have We have a very slim window that we are able to open here in the press box, and we're hooking on about every camera we can to it.
Trying to give you the best viewership opportunity, show you as much of the pitch as we can, as that opportunity goes out of play for another goal kick. Clam sets it up on this near side, this time around. Madison Buckley able to get a foot to it, looking for the strike on her right foot. Still looking for the opportunity, and well done from the Chieftains to close that down, poke it away. Sharp. Back to Greer. Greer able to keep it in play. Bobcats doing a nice job of circulating possession here. Good pressure there from Bothwell, able to get a touch to it, not quite anything else able to come of it, as Graff was able to collect. Suchi. Now Sharp. Good pressure, forces a bad pass by the Chieftains, and now they look to go the other way as Bothwell in possession. And there's just no one there north of her towards the attacking half, as we mentioned in our keys to the game. String together passes, use that mentality, and also find the space. You see Graff finding the space as she is in towards the 6-yard box with a beautiful strike. Right side of her foot, off the laces and just over Innes, who jumped but not high enough. Finding the fifth of the match. And her hat trick is complete for Taylor Graff.
Yeah, Graff, right-footed player coming in from the left side, and that means you typically have two options for that finish. You can go for that curled kind of what's known as a finesse shot in the video games. You kind of curl it into that bottom right corner, or you can simply stare the keeper straight in the face and blast it directly into the roof of the goal. And that one kind of is more unexpected sometimes, just to roof it. That's what Graff decided to do.
And Graff immediately regains possession for the Bobcats.
And here you see a whole lot of space opening up between those two banks of four for Tonganoxie. That's what they need to be careful of, because you can get an adjustment from Basehor-Linwood this half of maybe that forward line dropping just a little bit deeper. They're overloading everywhere else on the field, so why not overload in that possession space too?
Audrey Smith with a nice forward pass for Rothwell on the far side. Great pass into space, but Rothwell not quite able to get there. Pass may have been a little bit overcooked. Nobody likes burnt toast less than Rothwell, so she lets that one go on out of play, waiting for a better piece later on. Engelhart tries to keep that one in play, but loses out to Rothwell, who trails it back. Finds Greer.
Tristan, in England, they like beans on their toast.
I could never.
Me neither.
Now, I would sooner do beans on toast than mushy peas on toast.
Okay,
and
yeah.
Mushy peas is something that I can never get by. It looks like baby food. It's not great, as the Bobcats take a strike, and it pings off of the American football upright and the crossbar for soccer, and out of play for another goal kick.
Yeah, that one was a little bit off. It ended up looking like it was a really close shot, the way it kind of hit and rung the bells of multiple bars. But in the end, a harmless shot that goes wide.
And the Chieftains will hope for more of those harmless shots that go wide, as the possession is trailed all the way back to the Bobcats' back line, trying to make some progress down this near sideline. Graff with a beautiful turn, almost a pirouette as she cuts back into where she just scored her third, sending the cross in, but Innes is there. Puts her left paw on it and collects. No problem for the keeper this time around. Plays it out looking for Bothwell. He's able to send it forward, and it goes out of play in favor of the Chieftains. Throw in headed for Engelhart. Bothwell able to have a nice tackle there. Madison Buckley standing up and saying, I can do the same. Regaining possession for her team. Greer sending it forward, finding Sharp. Good run from Rothwell on the far touchline. She will be able to get onto the end of this from Sharp. Smith is in the box. The cross is sent in. Innes is there right in front of the incoming attacker and collects. 2 substitutes are ready to check in for the Chieftains. This is a good start to the half. You concede 1 goal, but it's the opening 10 minutes. Better than conceding 2 as they did in the first half.
And you see Basehor-Linwood just going right back to what has worked so effectively for them, the right flank, and pumping in crosses.
Absolutely. They are the epitome of lump it long. Is a good opportunity that time as the ball pings off of the midsection of Engelhardt. And she is clearly having the wind knocked out of her as she tries to recuperate following that clearance attempt by number 1, Hannah Miller, the junior goalkeeper for the Bobcats. Buckley on the ball. Ball's played forward by McCarty, looking for Smith. She's able to get onto it, in towards the box. Smith cutting it back, looking for McCarty again. The shot is taken. It pounces off of one of the defenders, but Smith still in possession, is able to slot that one home for her second, and an offsides call. We'll call that one back. Very late call there, but the assistant official on the far sideline seemed to have had his flag up for quite some time.
He did, yeah. He did, because that was offside on that original ball that was played. So almost like a Premier League type of offsides there where they allow the play to play out in case the ref was wrong. Now, we don't have video review at this level, of course. That would have to come from us, and we're certainly not. We don't have the angle or the technology to do that quite yet. So unsure why they waited so long to kind of award that offside free kick.
And as soon as that ball was played by McCarthy for Smith, I'll talk a little bit more here in a second as this cross is sent in towards the box. It's pinged around in the penalty area before being cleared away, only as far as Rothwell, who we know has a strong right foot on her, can send this cross in with confidence. Opts to trail it towards Greer, and well done from England to get on the end of it.
Tongi just getting bullied off the ball right now. A lot of one-on-one duels for possession, and almost all of them being won by Basehor-Linwood. As I say that, here come the Chieftains.
Engelhardt really well done to win out this possession in the middle of the park and try to spur on this counterattack. Bothwell taking her cue from Engelhardt, joins her in the attack. Ball is lost out as McCarthy sends to Buckley. Smith now onto this near side for Graff.
Nice passing.
Smith still off sides should the ball be played to her, but Graff trying to cutting it back inside, and it will be deflected out by Murray and out for a corner kick. As a bit of end-to-end football going on here.
And it's becoming really clear what those wide players for Basehor-Linwood want to do. They want to get the ball quickly, and then they want to get that overlap. They want to kind of move inside with the ball and then get it back out wide.
Ball was sent in towards the box. It was trapped by Innes with her legs, and then she fell on top of it to make sure nothing else was happening. But what I was saying with the pass for McCarthy as she now gains possession again was as soon as the ball was played, I thought Smith was offsides. I looked at the AR on the far side. His flag remained down, at least for the moment that I saw him, so curious indeed as Buckley tries to weave through the entirety of the Chieftains' defense. They do not allow that to happen as Graff now on this near side, looking for the cross with her left foot, cutting it past one, then 2 defenders towards the top of the box. McCarthy, Smith with the shot, and it's in the back of the net. McCarthy with her second this time. No offside call. And Smith adds her name to the team sheet for the second time this evening. Score now rises to 6-0 as we have 4 substitutions here for Tonganoxie.
Innes been playing a fairly good game in goal now. The shots where she struggled have been, that's going to be a tough shot regardless. You get a center of the box cross shot, that's going to be hard to save just because of the proximity to you, but has kind of struggled getting down to those lower shots too. Done a better job when it has been in the air or when she's been asked to kind of go out and collect.
It will be certainly difficult to see them to come back from this.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's anybody who can do it, why can't it be Tonganoxie? Why can't the Chieftains do this? So they will look to regain some possession in the top of the team as they made most of their substitutions along their front line. Good cutout there from Sparks. Excuse me, Weatherford with the cutout there. Ball is fouled. Weatherford will take this free kick.
And what's been interesting to me about this one, as someone who has now seen enough of Kansas girls high school soccer to feel like I understand kind of the flow and the level of competition and things like that, typically in these games that end up a bit more lopsided, you'll see one team kind of go on a goal-scoring run. Maybe score 1 to 2 goals, and then the defenders from the other team sort of put their head down. That's what we saw in Spring Hill. We saw that a bunch of times a season ago. I've even seen that here in Tonganoxie in the past. That hasn't been what's happened in this game, though. It's been kind of competitive, had that battling spirit throughout the game, and the Basehor-Linwood goals kind of coming at almost even intervals. I think at least we're trying to do our best to record the times of those goals, but they've kind of come every 8, every 10 minutes or so, and that's a kind of a credit to both teams. Credit to Tongi for, not just flopping over, but also credit for the Basehor-Linwood team here, the Bobcats, for really just keeping their foot on the Chieftain throats.
And that's one of those trends, is you notice that in the first half, right, they're feeling out their opposition. They're trying to find what works best in the attack, what ways the defense may have some holes in it, and how to exploit those things that they take notes on. And head coach Jeremiah Lavelle has done a great job in that first half of circulating his lineup, using a few subs, and trying to find those holes, probing away at the Chieftains' back line. And in the second half, he clearly found something, as they have just simply hounded away on the wings. And it's just been goal after goal in the second half. Another substitution here as McKissick will rejoin the fray for Audrey Smith, as her night will likely be ended. No hat trick for her, as she will take the bench. Good night there for number 5, Audrey Smith. But Sophie McKissick checking in on a different wing this time. Cervantes also checked back in. Cervantes was the number 9 in the first half. She checked in for Smith. So interesting shuffling of locations on the pitch. McKissick almost immediately having an impact, forcing a dispossession from Tonganoxie. Cervantes in for McKissick. Opting for a shot, harsh turn of her body, and Innes, little bobble there, but collects it, no problems.
That's 2 times now for the Bobcats, kind of taking unexpected shots, the last one coming from that free kick opportunity.
And the Bobcats will look to continue their forward progression as that ball goes out of play for a throw-in. Almost looked like the pink team was going to get involved there. Ended up just doing a little step over. Good block there from England. The ball goes out of play. Ball boy being helpful down there.
They have a lot of ball boys here in Tonganoxie. I like that. And the uniforms, we were talking about them at halftime. It's a great addition to have them all over the field, quickly able to get it back in play. I think it actually makes a difference in terms of the gameplay,
Absolutely. Especially with a running clock.
Yeah.
You're able to keep the ball in play for far more frequently. McKissick barreling forwards is tripped up a little bit. No malicious intent there. But she does hit the deck, and a free kick is called again on the edge of the box. We saw a free kick early in the first half, about the same spot on the other end of the pitch. So we are finally able to use camera number 1, as this will be a free kick just on the edge of the area. Center official telling Tochtrup to back up a little bit, provide those 10 yards of space. McKissick will look to send this either on frame or curl it in towards the box. She puts it on frame and it goes just over, so not actually on frame. Goes through the uprights. Would have been great if you were playing rugby or American football, but nothing to come of it, as Bothwell is ready to come back in. Captain number 4 for Tonganoxie. She checks back in for Ceci England. McKissick looking for the shot with the right foot, finds it, and Innes is there, able to keep it out of the net, says the AR on the far sideline. Nervy moment there, but able to get a paw in between the line and the ball.
Yeah, Innes, the distribution kind of been a struggle in this one, as that one is going to be completed to a Chieftain teammate, but whether it's been throwing it, whether it's been kicking it, and you've seen him use defenders on the goal kick, that has been a rough patch for the Chieftains.
And you almost wonder if clearly sitting back and parking the bus as it is, which means basically driving all the expression is parking a bus. So you want to drive a school bus in front of the goal so that no one can get a ball in. But as a good opportunity there for Bobcats goes begging. Nice collection there from Innes and good pressure from Tochtrup as she's down after the play. She's back up. She's fine. But when you park the bus, it means you drop as many of your bodies back as you can, right? So Tonganoxie have switched to a 5-woman back line. They have 2 in the midfield, and then they have 2 on the wings and 1 up top. So they're effectively running a 5-2-2-1 or a 5-4-1. When you do that, you're basically telling your opposition, come on, press us. We could take it. We could take it. Clearly this evening they may want to switch up their tactics a little bit, spread their team almost more north-south as it is instead of going as wide. And it's just the tactics this evening aren't working out. They may want to try something new as that shot goes over the bar. I almost don't have an answer. But, Alex, do you have any ideas as to any tactical formations they could change?
Well, right, and I mean, anyone that has watched Frontier Soccer with us knows this is where we take things. This is where we kind of nitpick, where we discuss. And the reality is sometimes it can be a matter of, this is a 5A program against a 4A program, a bigger high school. You just have more skillful, more athletic players at more positions. That happens in soccer. That happens in basketball. It happens. I actually seen it the most in baseball. A lot of these 4A schools have very, very good baseball teams. However, they have one guy for every position. And as soon as you go a little bit under that, then things get kind of shaky. Now, that can be the difference between 4A and 5A. So it may not be a tactical thing, but what I've been clamoring for this entire duration has been the 2 strikers. Keep the second striker up there. I know it's tempting. I know it's tempting to bring it back. But frankly, to me, the difference between 6-0 and 9-0 is not much. The difference between 6-0 versus 9-2 or 9-3, I would prefer to have scored the 2 or 3 goals.
Good opportunity there off the corner kick as the header goes wide, and another substitution will be made for Tonganoxie. Number 23 checking in, Journey Creighton.
I think I'd rather score the goals kind of in general, but I think especially given what this team has struggled with, that's exactly why, even more so than typically, you just want to see goal mouth action.
Absolutely. And it begs the question, right? So when looking at a new formation, do you want to keep that 5-girl back line and keep that strong defensive presence, or are you willing to, with moving another attacker into that striker role, so you have that dual striker option, do you want to shift that and change your whole face, and so you also adjust your back line? Do you want to take one of those defenders, put them up top so you can keep that 3-girl midfield and both of those wingers, so you effectively go to a 4-4-2 with more of a defensive midfielder and an attacking midfielder to give you just that additional defensive structure and attacking opportunity, but then that puts a lot of work on your wingers, maybe bringing one of those fullbacks into the fray on the attacking half. But yes, as you mentioned, we always take it to probably the unnecessary when it comes to Frontier League soccer and over-analysis of formations and roster slots and all that good stuff. But that's what we're here for, right? We want to bring you things that may not otherwise be touched on. As the Bobcats looking for the cross this time. Innes with a nice jump to block that one down. Learning from the earlier opportunity that went into the back of the net.
Right, that kind of demonstrates almost what I was saying, as a nice little dribble out here is going to peter out. But Innes able to really deal with those high balls quite nicely.
She has been doing a nice job, with the exception of that one.
Right,
but other than that one from Graf, she really has been doing a nice job with anything above her waist. And again, nice job here from Innes, coming all the way out to the edge of her box, collecting that. Calm, cool, collected. Well done from the senior goalkeeper.
It does look more cool and collected in the blue. I'll give you that.
It really does. I know I say it all the time, and I've said it at least 4 times this evening, but it's fun to the CCCs and the cool blue, you know. Speaking of cool blue, temperatures are slowly dropping here. It says it's 65 degrees, but you can see the substitutes are all holding their shoulders and trying to keep warm on the touchline.
And one of my favorite parts about fall and spring sports is that at so many of the outdoor venues, we get to capture the beautiful landscape, a beautiful sunset kind of during the game. Mm-hmm. I was looking, that happened in Paola during a baseball doubleheader. Is probably the best time to kind of track an entire beautiful Midwest sunset, as that one, I believe, was that saved? It will be, yes, it was a corner kick. So that one was saved at the near post, but unfortunately, sundown time is, I read, 7:58 today. So that likely takes us just after this game will come to a close. So won't be seeing that aspect here tonight.
We may try to extend the post-game to just give you that nice view of the skyline afterwards.
Post-game fireworks? What's this?
Post-game fireworks.
No, I can't falsely advertise. But
next time. We'll do throw-in trainings in the practice in the parking lot. And we'll do some fireworks as well. So foul awarded to the Bobcats just on the edge of the area. This looks like it will be Sophie McKissick who will take this. Macy McKissick, excuse me, will take this free kick for the Bobcats. As the Tonganoxie defenders in the line are walked back. Just a few extra yards. We have about just under 14 minutes remaining in this match. McKissick opts for the attempt on goal, and again, above the waist, Innes has it in her repertoire. Parries that one wide. Corner kick awarded to the Bobcats, but no one will be faulting Innes for simply punching that one wide. Madison Buckley to take this corner kick. Lofting it towards the target. Bounces on the penalty spot and goes all the way through all the chaos. And those biscuits are not getting battered this time as it goes through and out for a goal kick. A substitution will be made. Number 13, Harley Mirando checking in for number 38, Peyton Waters. Strong goal kick taken that time. Mirando not quite expecting it. Goes under her knee and out for a throw-in. Cervantes will take this for the visitors.
Right, that's been the struggle for the whole game. Finally get a good one, and then your teammate miscontrols it.
Buckley with the strike, and that goes wide on the near side. Regazzi had a good opportunity there, lofting one in towards the box before it got parried away, and then the strike ultimately from Buckley went wide. Switching the sides of play for this next goal kick. Trying a different teammate to trap this. The Chieftains are able to force a throw-in their defensive third, but still maintaining possession. As you mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, if you don't have the ball, we do, and that means we can't concede.
Right.
Trying to maintain as much of the ball, or at least keep the ball out of play as long as they can. 3 substitutions coming in. Grace Weatherford, Allie Rawlings, and Sophie Boltzhauser all checking in.
Upcoming broadcast for the remainder of the spring season. Now, this is all subject to change, and there are also a number of games where you might be able to find Tonganoxie teams facing another Frontier League opponent on our family of networks, as this one is actually just beyond the face of goal there.
A strong strike there from, I believe it was Buckley, and it was good diving save there from Innes to parry it away with her right paw. Goes out of play for a corner kick, which will also be taken by Buckley.
Yeah, so Dylan Funk will be covering baseball and softball April 25th and May 8th.
Corner kick taken, put in towards the penalty area. It's just pinging around in there like chaos ensues. Finally, it's cleared over towards the far touchline. Every attempt to center the ball is denied as there are two Tonganoxie Chieftains right there blocking everything. And finally, McCarthy's shot goes wide, out for another goal kick. Another substitution here as Maddie Ziolo will make her first appearance on the evening.
Little blunder there for the ball boys. There are two of them behind the goal, and first one threw the ball. It went right off the post and right back in his face. And goalie said, "Hey, I'm going to need that, kid." And the other ball boy had to then throw the ball. These ball boys have been absolutely on point throughout most of this game, providing a little moment of comedy here late on.
They really have been nailing it, and even more so, as you mentioned, providing some comedy as McKissick takes a shot. That goes off the side netting on the outside. Two ball boys ready to go, quick to assert that ball back into play.
And look
Another
at that
substitution.
Look at that teamwork. One of them throws the ball in, and the other one throws the ball to his buddy.
Good teamwork out there from those on the sideline and those within the sidelines.
And more importantly, memories being made for these young men on the sideline having a great time here on Monday evening.
Indeed. Some of my fondest memories, if they're not winning a championship, was being a ball boy.
Yep.
So oftentimes I was the same age as a ball boy, and that was really not a championship. You just got participation trophies. So ball goes out of play for another throw-in for the Chieftains, as we have about under 10 minutes to play here. About 9 minutes, 45 seconds. McCarthy for McKissick. Looking for the strike with the right foot. It goes through the legs of Innes and into the back of the net. We've been praising Innes all evening long for her ability to stop things above her waist. And that one trickles just below. Into the back of the net. 7-0 the score now reads as McKissick adds her name to the score sheet.
And you see the Basehor-Linwood keeper there wanting to get involved, wanting to just do something. I believe she has maybe touched the ball once or twice in this game, but making her way all the way down the field to celebrate. I like that just in terms of staying active. I also like that in terms of being a leader on your team from the back, congratulating a teammate there on, was that McKissick's first of the game?
That was her first of the game. And it
certainly deserved it, yeah.
It looks like it will be her final involvement of the game as well, as she places a jacket over her shoulders on the sideline. The Chieftains now trying to play out of the back. Good string of passing here as Bothwell tries to cut inside. But strong pressure from Sharp as she barrels down the far side. Looking for Smith on the far side, and it's into the back of the net. Two in quick succession. And Audrey Smith finds her second. And by second, I mean third of the match. I want to call everybody Sophie, and I want to give everybody a second goal, but it is Audrey Smith with her third to find her hat trick on the evening.
And I believe that one looked pretty similar to the very first goal of the game, just running into that back post area, completely unmarked. And what do you know? It's running down the right wing, crossing from the right side to the back post. That has been fundamental to everything Basehor-Linwood have done offensively, and that continuing into the late stages.
Really? That wasn't the first time we saw that? I could have sworn that was the first time they'd done that. But definitely something that they have found that works for them as McCarthy shuffles it off to Regazzi. Intended for Graff. The pass from Regazzi as that goes out of play. Off a deflection. Finding Smith. Buckley is at the top of the box. Centered ball for her, and it is parried back out towards Smith, and it will be a goal kick is the decision from the officials.
Yeah, that one just skied way over the goal. Sometimes it's the easiest chances that end up going begging. And Basehor-Linwood, I think they could have 10, maybe 11. Of course, 10 would end the game immediately. They have missed a couple of great scoring chances. And not to, be nitpicky, but they have been threatening throughout this game.
And threatening they will continue to try to do as they apply pressure high up the pitch. Sharp just seems to have gotten her second wind as she was able to lead that surge down that far side, and then the beautiful cross, which met the feet of Smith, and then inevitably finding the back of the net following a one-touch shot. Looking for another as Buckley sends this high lofted ball towards Smith. Push to the back there, says the center official.
Yeah, I thought that one was pretty evident. Smith, same thing in basketball. Sometimes if you just stick a forearm in someone's back, you get away with it. But if you put two hands and then fully extend the arms, you will get called every time.
Two hands to the back is looking to be corrected by the official as Smith trying to make up for that call. Sending it forward, looking for Buckley as it gets deflected back towards Innes.
Under 7 minutes, still looking for that first goal mouth action from Tongi. It's not too late.
As you mentioned in the pregame broadcast, when discussing the recent results for Tonganoxie, they've yet to score when their opponents have scored. They had that 7-0 victory, but other than that, it's been clean sheets against them all season long as that shot. Handball in the box. A penalty is awarded to the visitors. A stoppage of clock right at 6 minutes, 19 seconds on the scoreboard. Official trying to do a little bit of a rainbow there. Not quite able to pull that one off, but puts it on the spot. Looks like this will be taken by number 2, Emma Rothwell, who has been as involved as anybody else, but only has assists to her name. Can she add her name to the score sheet this evening here in Tonganoxie as the sun gets low? The frogs and cicadas come out. I don't know. Are the cicadas out this early in the year?
I haven't noticed them. I have noticed the frogs, though.
Definite frog action going on. And Rothwell slots this one home. 9-0 to the visitors.
And at this point, the focus for Tongi got to shift now. I've been calling for the goal, calling for them to try to keep pressure up offensively, but at this point, you just want to play this game out in regulation. You do want this to end 9-0 if you can. There are no such thing really as moral victories in terms of your win-loss, but I do think it would make Tongi feel better if they were able to keep it clean, keep Basehor-Linwood out of their goal for this final 6 minutes and 17 seconds of this one.
And as soon as that ball is played in, every single player in a white jersey down on that pitch sprinted forward.
Yep.
They are clearly trying to kill this game off. As Rothwell opts for the shot, and that is not far off from killing this game. Of course, if it reaches a 10-goal deficit in the second half, then the match will be ended in the Mercy Rule style. And that goal kick is sent right to Smith. Clam tries to block it, and it is eventually collected by Innes on her goal line.
Everyone was too casual with that one. The goal kick, I mean, what are you doing? Pass it straight to the other team, and then once the player has it, then was far too casual with the finish attempt, too.
Graff sending it forward for Smith. Her central ball is on the weaker side of things. That bread is basically still raw. And that goes all the way out of play for a goal kick, says the center official. Just 5 minutes remaining here. Scoreline, Chieftains 0, Bobcats 9 in the second half of play. Another goal kick to be taken by Clam. This time she opts to put her boot through it. Only as far as McCarthy. Good pressure from the Chieftains around her, and they're able to win out as England tries to send it forward. Wins back possession. And then a trail of the ball from Bolthauser.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Tonganoxie. Finally had something going forward, just an errant pass back.
It almost looked like they didn't have anybody else further forward.
Right.
It looked like Bolthauser didn't want to continue dribbling, so she just opted for the trail, which is fine, but when you do that, you have to keep your momentum going forward. You have to continue your run so that when you trail it, you're able to turn and sprint past your defender. As Buckley tries to find space, she's dispossessed just on the edge of the area. Shot from Rothwell, looking for her second of the game. Goes wide. Innes collects for another goal kick. This one to be taken by number 4, Caitlin Bothwell. Opting for the short ball for Clam. Just 3 minutes and 45 seconds remain. Smith. Nice cut, trying to get the cross in towards the top of the box. Looking for McCarthy. Sharp leaves it. Sent forward for Rothwell. Uses her body well to gain possession. Bobcats trail it back. Good central ball.
Now we'll see him move it, all the way to the left side.
Suchi, now Smith. Rothwell looking for the shot with her left. Sends it middle for Smith. And a simple pass into the hands of the keeper. No problem there for Sierra Innes.
Almost seems like the more elaborate the setup has been for Basehor-Linwood, they've failed to kind of put good shots on. When they do work it methodically, it's typically when they kind of just have a loose break down the right side and just pound one into the box. That's when they've actually scored them.
And a loose break may be happening here as Graff forces her way down this near side. Good pressure, though, from the Chieftains to force possession back out towards the middle of the field by Harley Mirando. She was not allowing anybody to best her again on that near side.
Much better defending there on the wing, where it's been a struggle to contain those wide players for Basehor-Linwood.
Ball's put back into play. Good possession by Bothwell, able to keep possession, and then it's conceded. Buckley looking for the run of Smith, who's onside. Back to Buckley, looking for the shot with the right foot. May have done better just taking the space in front of her and getting a bit closer to goal as that goes wide and out for a goal kick. Under 2 minutes remain here at BD Field in Tonganoxie, Kansas.
And time is ticking down, but that was almost as if they thought time was going to expire. They had to kick the ball now. No, you had time, you had space to run into, just did not take it.
They had done a nice job of passing, drawing the defenders away from the ball, working space for a teammate. Suchi looking for the run of Rothwell. It's cut out well on that far side by Rawlings. Ball sent forward for Sharp. Able to keep it in play, then surging past her to marker. Looking for the cross for Smith. Smith is there, and it goes right in front of the face of goal. Everybody here in Tonganoxie sighs a deep sigh of relief as that goes out for a goal kick. Just a minute remaining as Tonganoxie attempt to see this out.
That just looked all too familiar for Tongi, with Smith just crashing down that back post area, but not able to get onto the end of it.
That was the exact combination.
It was, yes.
From Sharp to Smith that ended up finding Smith's and completing Smith's hat trick. The second hat trick of the night. Suchi. Rothwell. Bobcats trying to possess the ball, looking for that 10th elusive goal, and then inevitably trailing it back. Regazi. Looking for the run of Smith. She gets past one defender. 10 seconds remain. Tonganoxie dropping with numbers. 5 seconds. The ball sent in towards the box. Madison Buckley able to get on the ball. 2, and the shot is taken, and that will do it here at BD Field in Tonganoxie, Kansas. The final score, the visiting Basehor-Linwood Bobcats 9, Tonganoxie Chieftains 0. We will be right back with a bit of a post-game analysis. So keep it right here with more Tonganoxie Sports Live. Back in a sec.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to S&S Body Shop in Tonganoxie. S&S has been the area's premier auto collision repair center since 1972, working on all makes and models, glass replacement, bumper repair, fiberglass and plastic, color matching, and more. Plus, they work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at sandsautoandbody.com or call 913-369-3193.
From its native roots to the bustling community it is today, Tonganoxie's past is as unique as its future. With small-town charm and big city amenities, Tonganoxie is the ideal place to grow a business and grow a family. Just 20 minutes from both Lawrence and Kansas City, Tonganoxie is perfectly positioned. Take an afternoon and come explore Tonganoxie. To learn more, go to tonganoxie.org.
For a winning team, contact White Birch Properties, the real estate MVPs. Whether you're an athlete looking to get back for another big win or you're just trying to win at life, Dr. Adam Ludwin at Win Chiropractic and Sports Therapy can get you back in the game. Dr. Adam has the tools and skills to have you feeling your best in no time with chiropractic adjustment, physical therapy, cupping, taping, muscle scraping, on-site x-ray, and more. Lose the pain and win the day at Win Chiropractic and Sports Therapy, now open in Tonganoxie. Book online at winchiropracticst.com or call 913-214-1020.
Wizard of Paws, now at their newly renovated location in downtown Tonganoxie, offers personalized pet grooming, doggy daycare, dog obedience, and socialization classes. At Wizard of Paws, your pet will get a one-on-one grooming experience, ensuring they return to you quickly and looking fabulous. And their new facility offers amenities and space that is doggone amazing. Call Wizard of Paws at 913-416-0255 or visit their new location at 406 East 4th Street in Tonganoxie. Learn more at wizardofpawspet.com.
Welcome back to BD Field here in Tonganoxie, Kansas, where tonight's matchup did not go the way of the Chieftains, with the final score reading Basehor-Linwood 9, Tonganoxie 0. But let's talk about what the eye on the game. The Eye on the Game is brought to you by Luxury and Imports of Leavenworth, family owned and operated in the area for 27 years. Luxury and Imports of Leavenworth has an impeccable reputation for customer service, customer satisfaction in sales and service. General Sales Manager Herschel McWilliams is ready to help you find your next vehicle. Give him a call at 913-772-7200. So, Eye on the Game, I had my eye glued to that back line of Tonganoxie, trying to get something going the whole game, trying to simply prevent goals. They had some nice stretches here and there. The end of the first half was really where my eye was caught the most. They had about a 10-minute stretch of time where they did not allow a single goal, and that was arguably their best stretch. They looked to regain that form later in the second half, but not to be.
Yeah, and kind of mentioned in terms of the game flow, just how Basehor-Linwood kind of keeping that pressure on throughout. That did not relent, but equally you did not see there be one single lap. Sometimes in other games we've said, it could be 2 or 3-0 right now if it wasn't for a blank and then, things kind of unraveling. That's not what happened. That did not happen at any point in this game. Tonganoxie did not unravel. Unfortunately, they were simply outclassed here today. I don't think it's too much of a kind of a mental thing or a tactical thing. I think it is ultimately going to just be one of those 4A versus 5A outcomes.
Definitely. And so let's go on to our jazzy play of the game, which is brought to you by LiveJazzKC.com, supporting jazz musicians, venues, and listeners across Greater Kansas City. At LiveJazzKC.com, you'll you'll find ways to support live music, information about local album releases, spotlight features on local artists, and all the great live events Kansas City has to offer. Learn more at livejazzkc.com. So, Alex, what was the thing that was the jazziest? What caught your jazzy play of the game title in this match?
I mean, a couple of very similar Smith back post goals. I think I liked kind of just I like it when we can notice what the tactics are. You know, sometimes it's kind of hard to see what's going on. Play just gets so congested, but clearly for Basehor-Linwood, as you get a look at Smith, hat-trick hero number, or I believe actually, is it 2 goals? Is it 3? Three goals. Yes, she is a hat-trick hero tonight. But my favorite goal was that Graf goal coming down, running down the left side, and then cutting in, smashing directly over the head of the goalie. I really like that unconventional, creative, and ultimately, most importantly, effective finish there. I think that was midway through the second half. I believe it was for 6 or 7-0.
Effective indeed, as she had that goal tapered down, and the Bobcats just couldn't stop scoring this evening. But certainly things to build from.
Right.
From the final 10 minutes of the second half, and then able to, after that 9th goal, they held it clear till the end of the match. So simply trying to string together those passes, as we mentioned, for Tonganoxie, looking for those. They've got those 1 and 2 passes, those first couple passes, but extending those passing streaks, trying to circulate possession a bit more, and not getting as anxious when pressure is on you. So that will do it here for us on Tonganoxie Sports Live here at BD Field. Tonight wasn't meant for the Tonganoxie Chieftains, but perhaps next time it will. For Alex Smith, I'm Tristan Jordan. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time right here on Tonganoxie Sports Live.
You've been watching Tonganoxie High School Athletics on your new home for the Chieftains, Tonganoxie Sports Live. Tonganoxie Sports Live is presented by Kansas Insurance, locally owned and operated. Learn more at kansasins.com. Also by and be sure to catch every second of the action right here on your home for the Chieftains, Tonganoxie Sports Live.